I left YouTube for 3 years, and this is what happened to my portfolio. We have a lesson that we want to share, and it's detachment. As you can see, what happened to my portfolio is that in 3 years, I got 197% returns. That's more than double the S&P 500. Actually, it's almost 2.5 times the return of the S&P 500, which we should say have been during these past 3 years amazing, almost twice as much as the average return of the S&P. So why detachment? Well, as we all know, this is a lesson that keeps uh, being repeated everywhere, but that most investors don't assimilate. And it's we need to stop over trading. When you have the opportunity, as I did and as we all did, to buy great companies at huge discounts, as we usually get the opportunity after massive bear markets like the one we have in 2022. When you buy great companies at deep value, the best thing that you can make is leave it alone, because those great companies are compounding. You bought them below their historic values. What you're going to get by leaving them alone is exactly what I got: overperformance. So that's the lesson. Let's buy deep value and leave those companies alone, let them compound. Back in the day, I'm saying I'm I, I'm back on YouTube, and back 3 years ago in 2023, January 2023, I made a few videos. The reason I left was because life got in the middle, but in all honesty, I left because I wanted to have a channel with a better production than what I have now and what I had back then. And it was a mistake. And because the value of what I can provide and the value I can get is just in the information and the analysis that I do, that I can share here and that I will share with everybody in the channel. Back then, I'm going to provide links to the original video from January 2023, in which I shared the portfolio to beat the S&P 500. I also made a video because I identified two potential multi-baggers, and I called them like that: two investments to basically 5x, 10x, 100x your money. And those investments have already delivered, as you can see there. We have a SoFi that I bought at that price, around that price, and Upstart Holding that I bought at around $17. So you can see the current price now already makes them a multi-bagger. But SoFi went as low as 472. I remember that I purchased at 472 at one point, and it's been as high as $30. I started selling those positions at 18, and then I sold out. I sold everything at $28, around $28. Right now, it has gone back a little bit. It's been retracing, and it's I would say that at the fair price. Um, Upstart went as low as $14, and it's been as high as 90. Right now, it is entering also an interesting point at the current price of 36, 30, almost $40 at the time of recording this video. As you can see, as I said, they are already multi-baggers, and they've been as high as 600% returns in the case of SoFi, above 600 actually, and around the same or a little bit more for Upstart. I still think those companies will be multi-baggers from this point. But uh, the point is that I identified those companies. They were at insanely low valuations. And I bought. I recommended everybody in the channel to buy them. And 3 years later, we had to go through so many things, through so many bad news, through so many problems, wars, uh, risk of wars. It during these 3 years, everything has happened. It's still great companies bought at great prices, provide returns that allow mostly anybody to build wealth and do it relatively fast, because I'm not expecting to sustain the kind of returns that we've had here. If you see the original video where I presented the portfolio to beat the S&P, you will see that well, I said that my goal was to beat the S&P 500, as any stock picker should be aiming, right? I wasn't expecting. I didn't want. I was managing my own expectations, actually, and well, this is what I got. I bought all those companies, and they've been amazing hits. Even Alibaba, which seems to be underperforming, uh, it has been a great compounder for me, because it went as low as 55, 52, and I kept buying because the business was improving, and everybody was talking about how uninvestable China was. And let me tell you something: if you see, when you hear that uh, everybody's calling uninvestable something, that's a great indicator that you should be buying. At least it should be an indicator that you should be analyzing and making valuations to determine if you can get the business at a very low price, which you will find that it's very often the case, because when everybody is saying that something is uninvestable, usually the market is underestimating the cash flow potential of the company, of the investments. And that was the case. Everybody was so negative against with China, and well, my average was a little below 118, and it went as high as almost $200. Uh, it hasn't all been great. I mean, I didn't pick 10 stocks and they all over deliver. If you see the video, you will see that I did mention that Microsoft was there because it for me it has to be a core position. It's one of the best companies in the world, but I wasn't too excited about it because it was not that cheap. And there you go. That's what you get when you buy expensive business. It doesn't matter if it's the best business in the world. If you overpay, you will get lackluster results. That was what happened uh, with Microsoft. It has underperformed the index in the past 3 years, and that's even what happened to Amazon. I got it. I got Amazon in very close to the lows during the bear market, and I got good results, but those were like mm, good calls, let's say. Amazon, for many people in the past 5 years, it has been a terrible investment, because that happens. Businesses, as great as they are, maybe one and two, the the top two businesses in the world, maybe that's how I see them. They can get overpriced. You can overpay for them. It's like they say, consensus can get overcrowded, and it happens. And as you can see here, Meta was my top pick. SoFi, I I want you to go and watch the video or get the transcript because it's in Spanish. But you will see that I call SoFi as the out of family in like the unusual pick in the bunch, because all other companies there are huge companies, tech companies that with I mean very large cap companies, mega caps, most of them. And SoFi was a company that was selling for maybe $3 or $4 billion at that time. It was underpriced. It was absurdly underpriced, below $6, $7. Management was guiding for 55 cents for 2026, and I said, well, this is 9 times earnings. It should be at least a 2x by December 2026 if it remains cheap. And as you can see, it hasn't. It didn't. So right now, for those who bought back then, it's been for sure one of the top performers. So yes, I wanted to talk about the the importance of going in hard, of pushing your convictions, and how by just picking all those great companies, I would have got really good returns. But going in hard in my top picks provided a very, very important difference in returns. We're talking about 26% in 3 years. That's around 8% compounded annually. That's not small. That's very important, especially because we all are in this for the long run. 8% per year difference is significant. So you can see, just by picking great companies at good prices, I would have destroyed the S&P 500, but a 26% difference by going in harder on those deep value companies, deep value stocks made a very important difference. And this is a slide. This is a slide I wanted you to see. Look at that. Even even with returns way above the S&P average, 21% during this past 3 years. Um, the speed of compounding for the returns we were able to get, it's it's significant. I mean, that's doubling the money more than I mean, doubling the money in less than 2 years. That's something that, as I said, I'm not expecting exactly to sustain. I mean, I'm definitely going to try it. Now that's my goal, but I know that as long as I'm beating the S&P 500, I'm doing great. I'm doing good, and in the long run, it's going to be significant money. Uh, and it's going to be money. I mean, it's going to be a pace to build uh, wealth that I call discretionary time, and that's the name of this channel. Uh, the next chapter is reopening, in this case, getting started with this channel in English. And as I said in the original video, the whole thing is to share my investment thesis, to document the process, and also the most important part is to get opinions, to build a community of people with the same goals. And by sharing our thesis and the premises that lead to them, I understand we can be much better investors and reach our financial goals sooner, which is also, which is almost the goal, right? So I think that's all. I think that's all for today. I'm going to leave you here, and just if you think I've earned it, if you think the information is valuable, hit a like, and hopefully you can subscribe so to keep checking out what we're going to be doing in the next few days. Many interesting things.